Well, he's owned a barber college, a car wash, a catering business, retail store, and a whole lot more, all after starting out as a barber. In fact, he owns so many properties on one East Side street, the city named it after him. But his legacy may be the next generation of serial entrepreneurs he's inspired. And that's why Charles Williams is another one of the people who make San Antonio great. It's a tight, tapered haircut with razor-sharp detail that requires a real barber's touch. Just part of the curriculum at Williams Barber College, an East Side institution training barbers for decades and still going strong.
It's really one of the best kept secrets in America. It really is, because if a barber is good at his craft, he can really make some money. And it's been 45 years and still ticking.
Charles Williams should know he started out as a local barber, then bought property and sold retail hair care products along W.W. White, then launched his namesake school in 1993.
All right, you're learning what you thought you would learn?
Today, he's a barber emeritus, former chair of the State Barber Board, and dean of East Side Development with a cluster of homes and businesses south of Houston Street.
It's rent property.
So you kind of have a monopoly here.
Yeah,
don't you?
I own this street.
You own this street.
I own this street. That's why it's called Charles Williams Place.
Right.
He's just been a leader in all aspects on the East Side. They call him the godfather of the East Side.
Does that fit?
That fits.
Williams credits his success with having a vision and a work ethic.
It's pretty much that same way in business. Everybody don't have it, but you gotta have the ability to see things before it happens and make it happen.
He also helped make cultural change happen in San Antonio in the 60s.
I did participate in the Lunch County demonstrations here in San Antonio. I participated in the boycott of Joske's.
Everybody seems to know him. Everybody seems to be related to him somehow. Keep it like straight up.
Williams recently sold his college to another younger barber with similar ambitions of entrepreneurship.
One of the things he's always told me was follow the money.
Now, Williams follows other passions. In his garage, a '55 Chevy Hood will double as a desk when he's finished here. New projects, but he believes barbering still has a bright future.
Your future is good for barbering. I encourage many young folk, if everybody's not for your college material, and if you're not, you need to get yourself a barber's license and make you some money and do some great things.
He's done great things for the East Side, one home or haircut after another. That's why he's another one of the people who make San Antonio great. And he has. And if you know somebody who makes San Antonio great, who's had a major influence on our city and neighborhood or industry, just email me at jbrady@kins5.com.